Let's bring in retired Lieutenant General Richard Newton. He served as Assistant Vice Chief of Staff for the U.S. Air Force. What's your reaction to Russia releasing Trevor Reed as part of this prisoner exchange during the Ukrainian conflict?
Well, good morning, Adrienne. Now that we're past 60 days of this conflict, really nothing really should surprise us at this point. This is certainly what I would call a diplomatic breakthrough. I'm sure there's been lots of back channel going back and forth, not only for weeks, but probably for months regarding the Marine veteran Trevor Reed. So I find it significant, but not surprising that, and really not attached to any particular timeline. It's just a matter of course of action. I believe Russia is trying to, again, dangle certain perhaps ability they think they can effectively outreach the United States to leverage any type of, again, strategic communication on the world stage to show their benevolence, if you will. But nonetheless, if indeed it's true that former Marine veteran Trevor Reed is heading home, that's great news for the Reed family. But again, this is just one very small step in what I believe is going to be a long road still. We shouldn't be thinking in terms of weeks, months, maybe even years in terms of this conflict.
Yeah, and speaking of prisoners, you can't help but bring up the fact that the WNBA's best player, Brittany Griner, is still in Russia being detained. Any word that something similar might happen in her case?
My sources really, I haven't been able to check them, certainly based on the heels of Trevor Reed coming home. But again, Americans for years have always been warned just to really, you've got to pay it very, very close to the vest in terms of your actions in Russia and so forth. And as we've seen in Mr. Reed's situation and so forth, this is not necessarily pertaining to the Ukraine conflict. This is years of challenges of Americans traveling abroad, especially in Russia and especially in Moscow. So that's, again, hopefully this will be good news, and Trevor Reed will be returning home to his family in Texas.
You know what? I'm sure this is music to their ears. They've been waiting years for this. Russia's military objective for the strikes in Moldova, what is your sense telling you, your gut telling you about this?
My gut tells me that they feel that they want to begin some momentum now that they've left Kyiv and they're starting in the east offensive in the Donbass region, trying to connect Russia through the land bridge into Crimea and so forth. And then once they feel that they've got some success there, and again, that's still to be determined, they perhaps could have their sights on farther west in Ukraine in the Moldova region as well. Part of that would be from a tactical situation is try to, again, attack Odessa, maybe take Odessa, then create that line of communication into Moldova, and that completely blocks Ukraine off from the Black Sea. But I'm way ahead of myself on that comment. But nonetheless, it could also be just a matter of saber rattling and trying to up the ante in terms of trying to put NATO and the United States particularly on our heels.
And thinking about saber rattling, Putin, is what he feared the most becoming his new reality, the alliances between the West and Ukraine? Ukraine, not a NATO nation, but getting some of the benefits of being so strategically tied to NATO. Is that now the strongest threat or defiance to the Kremlin?
I think absolutely. And to date, we've put $3.4 billion of military assistance into Ukraine, Adrienne. And yesterday, when Secretary Austin led the effort of the meeting of not only NATO nations, but other nations at Ramstein Air Base in Germany, it was not only just NATO nations, but we had countries from Jordan to Japan participating in this. So I believe Putin is becoming more of a pariah now on the world stage. And that's, again, that was underscored yesterday at Ramstein Air Base with the solidarity that we saw with 43 nations, not just the 30 nations of NATO. And so I believe Putin will believe that he's now has to play other cards. That's going to increase the rhetoric. Foreign Minister Lavrov made a comment yesterday or two in terms of the saber rattling of the use of nuclear weapons. They're on the table, if you will. So I believe this is, again, from a diplomatic, from an economic, finance, and certainly from military, there's many cards that Putin believes he has, but so far, the U.S. and NATO has been able to be very bolstered, be very strong to try to prevent anything that Putin would do, certainly outside of the current invasion in Ukraine.
Well, as we were speaking with Congressman Billy Long earlier this morning, it could be a lot of bluster from Russia. However, Americans are still very concerned about that threat of nuclear weapons. Lieutenant General Newton, thank you so much for being with us.
Good morning, Adrienne.
Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to click on the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.